Welcome to Entertainment Talk TV. It's Entertainment Talks podcast, the television that we choose to talk about. I'm your host Matthew. Joining me today, my co-host is Robert. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Doing alright, doing pretty good. So we're going to do something we haven't actually done for a couple of years. I can't remember what the year was exactly. I didn't get around to looking up the date, but we're here to talk about the pilot and a couple of first episodes for two TV shows. Both are available on Netflix. As you've seen from the title, one of them is Unbelievable, which I've seen all of. I have reviewed the mini-series and everything. The other one is called The King's Avatar. So what we did last time, it was I gave you Glitch to watch on Netflix. And then you gave me Samurai Gourmet to watch on Netflix. We talked about those. You can still, I hope, find those podcasts. So if you want to check out our thoughts on those, you can do so. But Robert tasked me with watching at least the first episode of The King's Avatar, and I suggested you to watch Unbelievable on Netflix. I think I'll go first with The King's Avatar. So this is about this gamer in, is it Tokyo? I think
China.
China, yeah, I get those mixed up sometimes. He's in China and he's part of this like esports team, and they lose this like game or whatever, and then the guy ends up kind of retiring. We're not going to go into spoilers for the shows here, by the way, but that's your main kind of plot line, I suppose, for the show. As I was kind of watching this in the first like 10 minutes or so, and you see them in their match that they're playing and all that. And I thought, like, okay, I'm going to try and connect to this on, like, a multiplayer gamer level, because for some of you, those of you that don't know, I do play Call of Duty very regularly. It's not on PC, and obviously Call of Duty is nothing like this particular game. This is like a medieval-style game that they were playing in this show, so I tried to kind of connect with it on that level. That didn't really kind of work. The characters, to me, I didn't really connect with, necessarily. I don't think the show was bad. I did watch just the first pilot episode. There is 40 episodes in this show.
Yeah, 40
and,
episodes.
And it's just a one run kind of
yeah,
thing?
I mean, technically it's one season, but I'm thinking because it's 40 episodes that they had like 2 or 3 mini seasons, and just when it came to Netflix, just jammed them all together.
Okay, so it's like a bunch of seasons kind of combined, but that's
the
entire.
It's like back in the day when you used to make 10-minute videos, and then you would make a season and just mash all those 10-minute stuffs together.
Yeah, it's called Quibi. Yeah. Fugitive's out next month. Yeah, so I kind of watched it in that sort of way where it was like, okay, I'm going to try and connect to this on like a multiplayer team kind of level, that sort of thing. The game's very different to Call of Duty, obviously. I thought the game looked okay. I didn't expect it to like be one of the main focuses or whatever. You're supposed to really be following this guy and kind of what's going on. Like I said, I didn't really connect with the characters that much. I thought the actual start of it, the first 10 minutes where they play that match, I thought that was the most interesting part. I thought that was paced pretty well. I didn't think the match went on like too long or whatever. There was like, 6 players, 8 players on each side, or
5 in a reserve, so essentially 6, yeah.
Okay, right around that number, yeah, which is a normal kind of squad number for those online games. So I thought that was paced pretty well. I did actually like the opening as well. They have this like CG dragon thing that flies into the arena. I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, I thought the presentation of the show was really good. I thought the pacing of the show was good. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's necessarily good. I thought it was okay. I connected with certain parts of it. It was kind of cool to see, because you don't see it from like you see some of it from like a screen capture perspective where you do actually see the game itself, and then you kind of cut over to where they're actually playing on their keyboard and mouse and stuff. I thought that looked pretty good. Is there a reason? But they kind of explain it in a way. There's one character that happens to have, or basically, a face mask on, and given the day and age that we live in, I thought that was a bit kind of weird and surreal, because they do explain that he sort of wants to like hide himself from the public. But yeah, they cut over to all the other gamers, and this one player's got like a face mask on. I was like, okay, that's given what's kind of going on now with face masks and Corona and that, I thought that was a little bit interesting.
Yeah, it's a little more prescient now, but if you look at like newsreels from China, from like even going back 5-10 years, there was people wearing face masks, and I don't think it was a disease, like a corona thing, like a pandemic. I think that's just something that culturally they've been doing for a lot longer.
Right.
Because that's not uncommon to see news reports out of China from like 5, 6, 7 years ago, and there you'll see a random person walking around with a face mask on. So, and they do get into why he hides his face in later parts of the episodes. So
yeah, because they kind of have this scene with him. I think it's after the match, and like he's sort of looking like he wants to hide himself and stuff, and his fans are outside this car or this van, whatever he's in. Takes his face mask off in slow dramatic style, and you can kind of see from the character of like he's maybe a little bit different to everybody else in a particular way. But I thought that was an interesting little touch for one of the characters. So I thought it was interesting as well. One of the I won't use the phrase gamer girl. One of the girls there who's also part of the team is obviously a gamer as well. And they cut over to her, and because I had this in subtitles, because I couldn't put it in English, it wouldn't let me. And they're like, oh, she's not just kind of got the look, she's got the skills as well. And they like particularly point her out. I thought that was kind of interesting, a little bit weird, but kind of interesting. So they do some interesting character stuff, but I didn't really like connect with anybody particularly. Just on the audio stuff, by the way, because I did check it during the episode, because I was like, can I switch this to English? Because there's a couple of other shows that I've watched on Netflix, like The Kingdom and things like that I have actually just switched to English, also with English subtitles. It had it in Mandarin. That was the
that's your only option. Is that this is basically a Chinese show, and it's in Mandarin, and that's your only option.
Yeah. So overall, I thought it was alright. It was good. I might watch some more of it. Not like immediately, but I thought it did its job, but I just didn't quite connect with it in probably the way that they wanted me to. What's your thoughts on the show anyway?
I liked it a lot. I did manage to finish the whole season, 40 episodes, which was quite a lot. So there's a lot of things they get into. They do explain the face mask thing. They do explain couple other things just for context. The woman that's on his team they've been childhood friends since like 7, 8, 9, super young like that. So they don't really get into her being a love interest, although you do tell that they care a lot about each other. And there's a lot of drama in it going through, this, that, and the other. So it's one of those things that it's kind of goofy, kind of cool. You definitely have to suspend belief when it comes to the gaming part of it, because no esports would allow competitors on the games that aren't evenly matched. And this is something that they get into more when you get to the game part of the series itself, is that the esports players have different equipments, different stat levels, things like that. And obviously in the esport, you wouldn't have that kind of level of in parity. It's generally, the same. You have different characters, but they all have the same stats and abilities. And that's why the main character is so well known. It's like there's a move in the game that only he can do, which you would never have in any kind of an esports, any kind of an exclusive game move like that. So,
yeah, that trophy that they showed looked kind of cool.
Yeah,
that was a nice touch as well. So, that's roughly my thoughts on the show. I don't think I've got too much else to say. Did you want to move on, talk about Unbelievable?
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Donnie, and I host the Adulting with Donnie podcast. And this is not the show to listen to if you're trying to be a better adult. I started this podcast as a way to offload some thoughts that I have throughout the week. My topics vary widely every week. Movies I've seen, guns and gun control, sex, people that are stupid, why I don't care about celebrity opinions, TV shows, snowmobiling. The list goes on and on. I'm always taking topic suggestions from fans of the show too. So join me each week on Adulting with Donnie as I pour some bourbon and allow you to see the inner workings of the mind of a madman. Live free and rant hard.
I'm Christy.
And I'm Jackie.
And we are Killer Fun. We explore the intersection of crime and entertainment every other week.
For as long as people have been communicating, they have been talking about who did what to whom, and is that socially acceptable?
Because the boundaries of society,
crime,
and entertainment have always gone hand in hand.
The more salacious,
or weird,
the better. From books and movies
to television shows and games,
we look at how life and art imitate and inform one another.
And we can't get together and not laugh. So let's face it, there's going to be laughing.
Killer Fun is available anywhere you listen to podcasts, so join us.
Today's sponsor is Kualu. If you'd like to get started with a domain name and a website today, just click on the link in the show notes and that will take you over to Kualu to get started. They also have a live support chat system that you can use, which is in the bottom right hand corner. So get started with a new website and domain name today with Kualu. Hey everybody, if you would like to get the ad-free versions of all of our podcasts and support Entertainment Talk along the way, all you need to do is head over to patreon.com/entertainment talk. Sign up either as a creator or as a Patreon. There's no difference there. That's just the option for either becoming a creator now or just staying as a patron for the moment. And then all you need to do is support us at the $1 level tier. That will get you access to all of the ad-free podcasts that we've done in the past, and get you access to all the ad-free podcasts in that month as well. So it's a great way to support us on Entertainment Talk and to get rid of the ads and get your ad-free podcasts. You can also become a patron at the $3 level tier. That gets you access to ad-free podcasts and allows you to redeem a review of a TV show or a film of entirely your choice. That's one per month for either a TV show or a film review, which is at the $3 level tier. As always, thank you very much for listening. Back to the show. Cool. So what did you think, obviously spoiler free like we said, what did you think of the 2.5 episodes you said that you saw?
Yeah, I watched the first couple of episodes. I didn't dislike it. I just found it so monotone in terms of everything. Especially the first episode that kind of threw me off a bit. I just realized once I got like halfway through the third episode that's the tone they were going for. All the actors are kind of monotone, which is really weird because I am familiar with Carol Danvers. She has been in Justified, which I know I talked about briefly. She's been in most of Last Man Standing, which was kind of a role reversal for Tim Allen's earlier show, Home Improvement. So I'm familiar with her as an actress, and she does have a lot of range, and she just kind of seemed zoned out on a good part of it. But then again, a lot of the actors were kind of zoned out on their inflections and everything.
So what do you mean by like monotoned and zoned out?
Probably the easiest way to describe it is that you had the two cops. Yeah. And I won't spoil what happens and why the two cops are kind of talking to each other, but you don't really get the sense that they want to be there on a general level. And you just kind of feel, this is just me. I just kind of felt like they were going through the motions, really.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I kind of, now that cause I'm trying to think back to some of the earlier episodes of the show. And I mean, it's sort of like when you're asking someone who's in that kind of a fragile state about like just basic questions about like, okay, do you remember anything else? Do you remember what this person was like wearing or whatever? I think you kind of have to be a little bit like kind of basic and calm in that sort of way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that I got, but when they weren't dealing with the people that were victim of the crimes that they were investigating, they were still on that same kind of monotone level, talking back and forth. There's no real vocal inflections for anything.
Yeah. I kind of see what you mean with that. I think it does change a little bit later in the series. Because I think with like some of the starts of these types of cases, you do only have like basic stuff to work with. Have they kind of? I was going to ask you a question, but I think it would get into spoilers. In a spoiler-free way, can you explain how far they got with the case?
I was halfway through episode 3, so the two cops are from two different cities, and they were just starting to get into the similarities between their two cases.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that continues for like I think a few episodes. Because they get to this, I don't think this is really a spoiler. They get to a point where they're like a genuinely a little bit stuck, and they have to like think outside the box a bit more. I think when that stuff starts to kick in, you'll kind of feel like there's maybe a little bit more there. See, I do see what you're kind of saying. I don't think I agree in the same way. But I mean, to me, I've spoken about Unbelievable a lot of times. I did like an impressions podcast for the first 2 episodes, and I reviewed the whole season, and then I gave it. I did a. I think it was late last year, bleeding into early this year. I did a top 5 best TV shows. I put it as number 2. So I think this is Netflix's best show. I think it's the most emotional and impactful show that I've seen. I still feel that way to this day. And it is based on, like, you know, a real case and a true story, so it's going to have like a bit more weight to it in terms of that. It's not all fictional and kind of made up or whatever. I'm going to assume that there's certain bits and pieces that they kind of put in and that sort of stuff for maybe for the show, but yeah, it's based on a real case and that sort of thing. So out of all of the actors, which one kind of stood out to you the most? Because I'm curious about that.
I mean, definitely Karen, just because, like I said, I've known her before.
Merritt Weaver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that kind of really is just kind of sticking is that where I'm like I said, I'm like 2.5 episodes in, and I still don't have a suspect for any of the cases yet, and that's what's kind of moving things along. Is that you would think by now they would have some kind of suspect left, and then they don't. So we don't have any real antagonist to focus on.
Okay.
And that's where it's kind of hanging up for me. So.
Okay, I will say that will start to take focus, like, literally the next couple of episodes. I can't remember that lasting too long, but to me, it kind of, in the moment when I was watching that, and I do get what you mean, and you kind of thought, like, okay, how was there, like, no evidence for this guy, and he's not leaving things behind, and that sort of thing.
They did just get to that theory. That's where I cut it off at. So. Right,
yeah, they start getting to that, and to me as an audience member, I started to think, like, okay, what type of person both can do that and is capable of that, and it started to make me kind of like think about the case a bit more, and it literally did kind of put me in the detective's shoes, and that even more helped me to, like, well, not that I needed help getting into the show because I was into it after the first episode, but that pulled me in, like, even more, because I was kind of, it made me start to think, like, okay, I'm not a detective, I wouldn't be, you know, any good at that sort of stuff, but it kind of made you think in a way of, like, okay, what kind of person, because there's lots of different types of people in the world, what kind of person, like, could do this and actually has the ability to pull this off, because they are pulling it off for a certain amount of time, because like you said, that goes on for a couple of episodes, but yeah, they get to a certain point and it kind of advances more from there. So I'm really trying to not spoil things, but yeah. So but yeah, the actor that you're talking about is Merritt Weaver. I gave her, well, in our little awards, best and worst of 2019, gave her the best actress award. That's one of the best performances I've ever seen. It's Merritt Weaver playing as, it's Karen Duvall, isn't it? I think that's the detective's name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget the name of the character for some reason. But yeah, she really kind of pulled me in, and because with her, I know she's been in some stuff that's like before my time. She was first in Walking Dead as, I think it was Denise, for a couple of seasons. Then she played this sheriff character on Godless, the miniseries for Netflix. So she's done a couple of miniseries. And then I saw her in Unbelievable. And then earlier this year she was in that HBO comedy that I covered called Run on HBO as well. So yeah, I'm very familiar with the actress. I think she's really, really talented. The actress that's playing one of the victims, Caitlin Denver, we've talked about her on our gaming podcast about potentially playing Ellie in the upcoming HBO Last of Us series. What do you kind of think of her?
Yeah, I could see her in that Ellie role.
Yeah,
it's on Hulu or Amazon, one of the two. She does a movie about getting out of high school but before going to college, and then kind of run wild. Hang on, let me look that up real quick. Come on, computer, you stupid computer work. Hang on one second.
Okay. Yeah, I think she would be quite good as Ellie. She's around the right sort of age for it as well, where you could kind of, yeah, that would work pretty well, I think. But no, I think she's really good in the show as well. So.
Yeah, I keep saying Denver. It's actually Dever, Dever.
Is it? Oh, I said Denver as well. So.
Yeah, Booksmart is the movie. It came out.
I keep seeing that on Amazon. Yeah, I keep seeing that pop up on Amazon. Yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
Her and her friend graduate and then go on wild adventures. So
Cool.
But it's got some people in it that you would know. Jason Sudeikis and Lisa Kudrow are both in it.
Cool. Nice. So, yeah, in terms of any other thoughts on Unbelievable?
I'm 50-50 on seeing the rest of it or not. It's just that, like I said, the whole thing is kind of monotone in its delivery, which but like I said, by the third episode, I figured was intentional, and that's fine. It's just not holding my attention, and that's kind of the whole point of a show, is to hold your attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, except that was the next thing I was going to get to. I intend to watch more of King's Avatar, but not immediately. I don't know when that will be, but it's because that was one of the ultimate things. I was like, okay, we've watched the pilots or the first episodes or whatever for these shows. How do we feel about going forward with them? Because I know with Glitch you didn't watch any more of that. Because we talked about that last time. With Samurai Gourmet I watched a few episodes and then just stopped for some reason. I do intend to finish that show, but I just never got round to it. So do you think you'll check out more?
Eventually I will. Probably not right away. It's just, like I said, with the whole monotone kind of one note-ish of all the delivery, it never held my interest.
Okay, so we shall see. And maybe if Robert finishes the show or I watch some more of this, we'll I don't think we'll do another podcast just for these two. I think next time we do maybe a TV talk, we'll if and when we watch more of these two shows, we'll include some updates or something. I think that would be a good way to go. So we shall see. But for the audience, for those of you that have watched either of these shows, what do you think? By the way, they did have some Emmy stuff come out today for Unbelievable. It's been nominated for a bunch of stuff, and I hope it wins everything. So I think it was for Caitlin Denver or Devner for Best Actress. Merritt Weaver was nominated. The show was nominated, and some other stuff as well. So I hope it does pretty well. That's supposed to be in September, so we'll see if it wins some Emmys. So, but for those of you that have or haven't seen these two shows, what do you think? Do they sound good to you? Do you intend to watch them? All that sort of stuff. Let us know. Let us know what you're watching, what you think of what you're watching. Hopefully you enjoy all that stuff. Or for anything else related to Entertainment Talk, you can write in Matthew@entertainmenttalk.org, Twitter eTalkUK. There's a contact page and information in your show notes. So we'll give some updates if and when we watch these shows. We'll do another TV talk in a couple of weeks or sometime soon. I'm watching a few things at the moment. A lot of the upcoming stuff that I'm going to be watching is going to be actual series reviews, so they're not really going to be included in the TV talks. So look out for those as well. But yeah, I think that's it. So thank you everybody very much for listening. You can find everything else that we've got on entertainmenttalk.org. If you want to support the podcast as well and Entertainment Talk, we are on Patreon. You can have a look at the $1 and $3 level tiers for instant podcast, ad-free podcast, and review options as well. If you want to support us on iTunes, you can rate, review, and subscribe to us on there. Just search for Entertainment Talk. You can also find David, Geektown, on iTunes. Just search for Geektown Radio or just for Geektown. You can also find Geektown Radio on Tuesdays, also on geektown.co.uk for all your up-to-date TV and film news. So just search for Geektown or geektown.co.uk and you should be able to find all of that. Bex is streaming quite regularly at the moment on Twitch, so that is Tristabytes, BYTES. Go and follow her, subscribe to her over there to get involved with all of that. Amazon affiliate link. If you're shopping on Amazon, we can get a small cut of what you spend, but it won't cost you extra. I've already mentioned the iTunes feed. Word of mouth, please tell people that you know about the website and the iTunes feed. Social media, share them around Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, or whatever else you use in this day and age, or if you can, put them in different Facebook groups. And lastly, I'm streaming Last of Us Part 2 at the moment on Twitch. There is going to be spoilers in there because I'm streaming the main parts of the game, so you can have a look out for that if you want to. And David also streams sometimes on Twitch as well. And have a look out for Let's Play Sundays. Special 50th episode came out this Sunday, so have a look out for Last of Us 2 Let's Plays and all that good stuff. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.